total pitch darkness, but we don't make you do that at all. It's much, much easier now. But for me, the interesting thing about this first staircase, just this first staircase here, it's hairy. They used to use horsehair in the mortar, the plaster that covered the walls, to bind it together. And over the years, it's worked its way loose here and there. So look out for the mysterious clumps of hair. That's really good this first. If that doesn't sound enticing, I don't know. So please do come on up, and we'll gather on the gallery just above. Okay. The oldest staircase we'll encounter today dates back to a similar sort of time to our archway just next door. Must be 1,000 years old. Here are some of the hairy bits as you come. Oh. So I thought we'd stop here a moment. We're now 30 feet or so, about 10 metres above the church floor, looking down into the space we just left in the north transept below. And what I like about coming up here is you get close to some of the things you just don't see from down below. The top of my list here is the ceiling. Isn't that wonderful? Dates from the early 16th century. And it's oak. Very strong, very tough after all this time. And at that time in our history, the most important thing for us was keeping on the good side of Henry VIII. And you can see his coat of arms. It's on the beam that runs across just above me here. It's on the right-hand side as we look. It's about halfway down. It has a golden crown. And Henry gave us an offer. Would you like to join my new Church of England? Or else? And so we did. In 1541, our monastic days came to an end. We became home to Henry's loyal bishop. We became officially Chester Cathedral for the first time. We have been. Watch out for those stairs there. 2 stairs down. They're hard to see. Can you do from this way, sir? All good. Watch out for those stairs. Yeah. So do mind those stairs on the way down. Okay, mate. One of my favourite views in the building here. We're now about 70 feet, about 21 metres up. About halfway there. That's good news or bad news. This is the Triforium gallery here, right in the crossing of the church, right in the centre. And it used to be the bell ringing chamber. So if you can imagine the cathedral bells at the top of the tower, way up above us. The bell ropes coming down through where those decorated wooden panels are in the ceiling above us. And the bell ringers where you are on these narrow ledges. Didn't have the benefit of any sort of safety railing or fence at all. Nothing between them and plummets down below. Okay. Come on through. Come on through. Okay. Sit down. Oh yeah, you love it.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it? The Victorian period. We're directly above the space we just left. So the chandelier actually hung from the very centre of the floor, just here. We've only just met. I don't know if you are the sort of people who like to stick your face in a hole, but if you are, you can look down here if you wish. See all the way down to the tiled floor. This is where the chandelier used to hang, so do feel free. It's not much of a view really, but it shows you how far we've come. You can imagine the bell ringers down here. Well, they gather here, ring the bells by hand, and see the bell ringers coming down. That was just us. And that worked quite well. We just had 4 bells that we ring before each service. But by the middle of the 19th century, we had 8 bells, some of which weighed a ton or more. And now, the Victorians who loved their bell ringing were ringing a full peal, which could be 4 or 5 hours at a time. So with these enormous weights swinging back and forth, hour after hour, it was far too much pressure on the old stonework, much more than it was ever designed to take. And when we discovered that the tower was starting to wobble, we had to stop all the bell ringing here, and that was 1962. And what we decided to do, had a look at the bells, and they were 350 years old by this point, to the current set of bells that we had. And they were getting to the end of their useful life. So, we took the roof off. We took out the bells. I made that sound easier than it was, but yeah. And we sent them back to where they'd first been cast, 350 years previously, Whitechapel Foundry down in East London. And there they melted down the bells and they recast them into a brand new set of bells. And we built a new tower to put them in, and it's just next door. You might have seen it. It's the only modern freestanding cathedral bell tower in the country. It's not everyone's favourite building, but I can show you when we get to the top. You can see it from there, so you can see it from there. And so the bells you hear nowadays, hear them every Sunday. You may have heard them last night if you're out and about around town. The bell rings were in last night. They are made from the older bells. I think that's a nice bit of continuity going right the way through. Still, I'll ring the chimes every 15 minutes throughout the day today. And the Victorians even had a device that would do that. That's the cathedral clock over there. Big green bit of machinery there, and that wonderful reassuring tick that I love to hear. That's been ticking away there since 1873. Still going strong. All the mechanics are original. But you might notice underneath we've got a new electric motor that keeps it wound up so you have to wind it by hand, which is something I'm very grateful for. And that simply had the job that every 15 minutes it would pull on a hook like the one that's hanging down. We are going to go onto the roof for the full 360-degree panorama. Feel free to look out the windows here. What I like about this space is this This is great big 400-year-old John's work. Strong as iron.
And then the bells in 17th century.
So that one there dates from 1626. my regards. Actually, talk to Eddie. Feel free to a little bit smaller. It's a little bit older. It's from 16 years now. And the problem was that England and Wales weren't always on the best terms.
How come?
Well, there'd been a good 100 years of warfare for a while.
All right.
And once that things had calmed down a little bit, they would invite the Welsh into the city during the day to spend their money.
That's really good to know.
Well, it's nice to know, if you're Welsh, that you're welcome here nowadays, because you are. But the other important thing to know was that it used to be the case that no Welsh person was allowed in the city after 9 o'clock at night. And you were quite within your rights to shoot any Welshman you saw after 9 p.m. with your longbow.
You're right to shoot people.
Now, we don't encourage that sort of thing these days. It's great, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. They always go a little bit through. Made me feel anxious. My number one recommendation from ground level are these incredible choir stalls carved oak from the 1380s, carved by Richard II's master carver, best in the country of that age. Unbiased, you can make your own magic houses. Absolutely fantastic. You have the time, quiet screen, the root screen separated the holy from the profane, the ordinary, the hoi polloi. You can stand there and listen from a distance. But, only the good, the great, and the blessed. And it was incredibly important. Absolutely.
The thing to say about this theory is that the ceiling is not one of the older parts of the building. It's Victorian. It was spent most of its life covered with soot. It was only uncovered in 1992, washed clean, 1992. Soap and water.
What's the age of the stained glass window? I presume it's from the 20th century.
It is indeed, yes. Yeah. So the story of our stained glass is that the original medieval glass that used to be throughout all of these windows was destroyed. Starting in the Reformation, for the reasons idolatrous Catholic. Any bits that survived then had to face the Civil War. When the parliamentarians took over the city in 1646, again they destroyed it. This is what's holding up the building. Strength of the cathedral. So what looks really delicate from underneath is incredibly robust, incredibly sturdy when you see it from up here. Not one, not two, but three big stone arches keeping this bit up here. They really built for strength. And the little doors to your left there are the ones the monks used to access that gallery there. So.
I noticed them being tiny in stature, these men.
Well, I mean, talking back to the Middle Ages, your average sort of man would have been about 5'3", they reckon.
So for my height,
Yeah. Take you on down the last staircase with you, you'll feel it's quite cold down here. I mean, everywhere's cold today, but you'll see your breath misting in the air down here. Never get sunlight in the northeast corner.
The cathedral gets really hot in the summer, then other times when it's uncomfortably hot.
The building itself, not really. You'll feel a difference in places like the tower today, where the sun is on it all day, somewhere or other, and the stones began to retain the heat. So by the end of summer, it's really warm up there. So look at this door. That's the vaulted ceiling we can just see from above there.
Which one of the Pugians
I shall show you. What we'll do now is we'll head and get our stuff from the lockers, and then if you like, if you have a few minutes, I'll take you and show you. If not, I can just point at it as